Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is helping women rock their hormones, heal their guts, and balance their thyroids. Joining us now, Amanda Swan of Swan Integrative Health to talk about how women can deal with symptoms that are often undiagnosed health issues. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
So as we get older and our bodies start to change, I feel like we just have so many questions, not a lot of information, especially when it comes to, perimenopause and menopause. It's important, and we were just talking about during the commercial break, that we educate ourselves early so that we're not horrified when these things start to happen to us. And talk about that and enlighten me a little bit more on that.
Sure. Perimenopause is an issue that's really near and dear to my heart, because I'm part of a really awesome group of people that's going through that right now. And I see a lot of women every day that are suffering with symptoms that they don't even realize are from this natural change. So perimenopause really encompasses 5 to 10 years before your last menstrual period, as well as the year following that. So it's a really long period of time. And symptoms can be really subtle and start in your late 30s, early 40s, when you might think that it's something else and not know who to seek for the right care.
And, we talked about it, feeling unheard. And I think there's a lot of shame associated with those symptoms and maybe just not understanding. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that menopause has sort of been stigmatized. It's an issue that has sort of been pushed to the side. Women don't want to always admit that they're at that stage of life where reproduction is beyond them.
Right.
And they're sort of unheard for a lot of other more complex social reasons. But there's definitely a new movement that's happening right now where celebrities and people that have a lot of say are speaking up, bringing awareness to the situation, and it's important for healthcare providers to be educated so that we can pass that information on to our patients and help them to feel empowered and to, seek out the right help.
And that's exactly why you're here today. You're going to empower our viewers, and we have 3 topics that we're going to touch on. The first is hormones, so let's dive into it. What are some tips that you have for that?
Sure. Well, I like women to know that hormones don't have to be our enemies. We really sort of look at them as this terrible, terrible invader that messes up our life once a month.
Invader's a great word.
Yes. Hormones are messengers. They're messengers between our cells. And if we can see them as messengers to us as individuals, there's real power there. We don't have to feel like we are completely, at the mercy of our hormones. We can have some control. So embracing them as an important part of who we are is really key, and finding a way to navigate them in a way that feels comfortable. And that might mean finding the right provider to help you with some hormonal problems, or just having a different mindset around hormone changes. I like to use PMS as an example, right? Many women say, oh, PMS is the worst. I wish I didn't have to go through this. I wish I was a different gender. But PMS is a way for our bodies to just take a step back. The message that we're getting is that maybe this is a time when we need some rest, or to turn inward and really reflect on what's happening around us, take a little space from the people in our circle. Of course, PMS can be also very debilitating and problematic and impact somebody's mental health. So I always encourage people to seek out help for that real severe type of PMS. But if we can think that Mother Nature gave us these changes and these symptoms for a reason, it can be empowering to say, okay, let me use this as an opportunity for some change and for enlightenment.
Now let's talk about gut health, because goodness gracious, I'm so happy you're here. There are certain foods that work and there are certain foods that don't. And, we often talk about the terminology of food is medicine, and it certainly is in this case. So what are some things that people should know about healing your gut?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know that disease starts in the gut. Hippocrates said that literally thousands of years ago. And as technology and science evolves, we know more and more that that really is true. So the flip side of that is that health really begins in our gut. There's a really important interplay between our gut and our hormones, which a lot of people don't realize. And so having a healthy gut helps us to have healthy hormones. I'd say my top 3 tips for having a good, healthy gut. Number 1 is eat plants.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you have to have a plant-based diet necessarily, but including lots of vegetables, fruits, fibers from things like beans and legumes, if you tolerate those things, super crucial. All that fiber is really good for our guts.
Okay.
So that's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is to really be mindful of the stress in our lives. Stress hormone we think of as being more of a brain issue, but stress hormone really impacts our guts in a negative way. We can't always control the stress around us, but we can control the way that we respond to it. So having good stress management techniques, good ways to decompress when we need to, good for our brains, good for our guts.
And then we have time for one more tip.
Great. The last tip is to don't ignore your symptoms.
Yes.
People sometimes think that having a little bit of gas or being that friend who's burping all the time or has belly pain is normal, but
It's not.
It's not. It's not. So find someone that will hear you, that will dive into those issues and give you the support that you need.
I know we mentioned thyroid as well. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but if people want more information or they'd just like to maybe call you, ask you a couple questions, where can they go?
Yeah, so our website is swanintegrative.com. We're on all the socials, so Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Follow us, give us a call. We'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I learned so much, and I know that our viewers at home did as well, so thank you for being here.
You're welcome.